I got the loud background going. Okay, Riley, you cannot lick my fingers while I'm podcasting. That is not fair. Stop. I know how to say no Uncrustable. I tag Smuckers in my picture on Instagram, so hopefully we can get a sponsorship.
Oh my god, that's too funny.
Hey, everybody. We are live early. A little bit. We're here. Happy Halloween. Who to you? Merry Christmas. Almost.
I'm ready.
I know, seriously, me too. Because I saw on Twitter today that they put out the list of all the channels for the holidays. They start Friday. Like, yes, I love holiday traditions. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
And then Holly. I like Holly.
Holly. Yeah, I like them both too.
Yep. And then like the Sans, I can't get them. Same thing. The Trans-Siberian Orchestra and the other one that sounds like them.
Yeah.
There's two of them like that are that din 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 din.
And closer to it, I feel like the Sinatra station plays a lot of like classic holiday stuff too.
There was one new one that I was like, there's a sleep one this year. There's one that's like Sleep Christmas. It's like
what?
Going to sleep I was like, yes. Instead of like I'll be telling my Alexa to be playing that every night. So like Silent Night, like Silent Night for real.
That's crazy.
It's awesome is what it is.
Sleep Christmas one.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to expect there.
I don't either, but
that's how I name my playlist though. It's more like an emotion, like a feeling, like you know what I mean? Instead of
I know. I was like, that's interesting. Sleep Christmas.
Sleep Christmas.
They have like 20 channels again, so that's pretty. Man, everybody in the NBA's firing their coaches. Hello, Diane. What's going on? What's going on, Len, out in Maryland? Hello. All right, so it's just going to be Pam and I for show 1, and then Rikki hopefully will be here for show 2. Baby Lucy had a fever, so she's attending to motherly duties, but hopefully she'll be with us for show 2. And I am experimenting with letting Riley hang out with me here in the office because Mallory's at cheerleading. Pam has conferences tonight till 7:30. So we're the only ones home. So there should be no sounds upstairs. I've pulled the blinds here in the studio, so no distractions out the window. So ideally, there should be no reason for Riley to bark unless something happens outside real loud. So she shouldn't bark, but she keeps thinking that she needs to be fed, but she can't be fed yet because we go to Taco Bell after the podcast, and then she eats when I eat. So she keeps looking at me. Stop. She keeps trying to lick my hand. She's my goose. I'm Maverick. She's Goose when we go to Taco Bell in the Jeep. Watch the canopy. I always tell her that, so we just forget the rest of that movie at that point. All right. So we are going to do listener questions. I do need listener questions. So if anyone has a great listener question, drop it in the comments, please. If you have a burning question, you want to be a superstar, an internet star, please put it in the comments because we need your questions. We need fresh questions. Oh my God, she's trying to look under the blinds. Don't look under I will kick you out of here, Riley. I love you. I love you like one of my kids, but I will kick you out of here if you look under those blinds. Stop. I love you, but don't. Okay. Because you talk back, Rikki. You're not sitting in my lap during the show. I promise you that. Okay. Let's see. We're on episode. I can write down the episode. This is 2581, I think. Yep. Good girl. Laying in her little blanket. Little pallet that I made her. Okay. Still having questions. People not following directions. But we're okay. All right, here we go. Welcome to episode 2581 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rollman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope you're getting ready for an outstanding Halloween tomorrow, and get out there and all the tricks or treats and eat all the candy. Even if you don't go trick or treating, just swing by the big cauldron that's sitting by your front door, grab a fun size candy or 3, and eat them up today. Why wait for the holiday? Eat it today. I said it's good. Go for it. Live life, have fun, live moss, as they say in Taco Bell land, where I love. So we're going to have a great day today. We're going to be answering your listener questions. It's a 2-person show. We're going to have a good time today. Joining me out in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, or in that general vicinity in her bunker. You don't know exactly where she is, but she's in that area. We have Pam Forrester. She's the caller of the Magic for Less Travel. Pam, happy Wednesday. What's up?
Happy Wednesday. I don't know. How is it, first of all, the end of October, let alone October?
I like it though, except this weekend is an hour longer. We get to fall back.
Yes.
I like the extra hour sleep idea, but because we have to go for a cheerleading championship at Mizzou this weekend, go Howl cheer, trying to win a state championship. And we take the stage at 9 a.m. in Columbia. It's 2-hour drive. So we have to leave here at 5 a.m. on Saturday. So that'll be an appreciated extra hour sleep this weekend. But yeah, that getting dark thing on Sunday night at like 2 p.m, rough, dude. It's like the dog's crazy. I'm crazy, because that first night, is this not true for you guys? Like, because I go to bed early. I'll be sitting there like this is every year. And as I get older, it's even worse. At like 8:30 at night, I'll be watching Sunday Night Football after the live call-in show on Sunday night. And I'll be like, telling Pam, is it midnight? Is it midnight? It's been dark for like 12 hours already. Like, is it? No, it's 8:30. It feels like it's midnight already. I can't stand the time change then. Oh, it's rough. So I'm not looking forward to like 3 days from now.
And it does get harder as you get older to make the time change. It just does.
Any kind of change is hard when you get to be my age. It's rough, man.
Remember how you used to feel about your parents, though?
Yeah,
like they would.
My parents. I'm a grandpa. Exactly. I'm Grandpa Charlie at this point.
Well, I'm glad you don't have to podcast from a bed.
Hey, Hugh Freeze coached a couple games from a hospital bed one time down at Liberty. I think. I don't think I'm there yet, but let's hope not. We'll see. But yeah, so actually for our live call-in show Sunday night, we had a couple passwords. So we'll throw it here to you as we are in the Halloween season, closing it out here for 2024. What's craziest candy or thing you got when you went trick-or-treating as a kid, or craziest costume you wore in your childhood when you went trick-or-treating? One of those two things. What do you got? Are you still there?
Totally went out. The sound totally went out.
I was like, hello. She's not there.
I still can't hear you.
Uh-oh.
All right, there. Now I can.
Right.
Sorry.
Okay. That's okay. Let me just get where it went out. 3 minutes. Oh my gosh, I haven't had to edit in forever.
I know. It like the sound totally left on Be Live here.
Because that spider that's hanging down there. Now can you hear me though? Okay, so
yeah,
that'll be an easy edit. Okay, here we go. So we have been having a password on our Sunday Night Live call-in shows for our callers before they're allowed to talk Disney with us. They have to, get past the password. And this past Sunday night, we had 2. You had your choice. It was either the craziest candy or item that you got in your pillowcase or your, Halloween bag, candy bag as a kid, or your best Halloween costume from childhood. So which one are you going to go with? What do you got?
So I think Halloween costume, and it was one that my mom actually made. So in addition to like the ones, that you had where you could like pierce your eyeballs, right? And get, you couldn't see out of, like somehow those were the most sharp openings in the world and useless openings in the world. My mom made me this one when I was in school. I was young, elementary school, and I was a popcorn, like the popcorn vendor at like a circus or something like that. And so then I got to take in popcorn too to everyone. So that was kind of cool.
not only
right?
creative, but also very winning over your clientele.
Exactly. Yes. I was making friends for sure. But yes, I remember this. Like I remember being very excited about this costume and how it was coming along. And then I think for the like next 3 or 4 years, I was Casper, the same costume for the next 3 or 4
Totally.
years.
Once you hit like 12 to like 16, you just like, you're like, I'm a bum. It's like, I'm like, you look like that all the time. All you do is buy your
Right.
shoes. That's the only difference. Like, what's
These
yeah.
are just regular clothes. But
Here's,
yeah.
here's
Yeah.
Tuesday. No, anyway. All right. Well, yeah, again, we'll talk about this as the show comes out tomorrow. Just be careful on your way home tomorrow, just because kids be out there running around like crazy. Just slow down on the way home from work, because you got to watch out for them, because they won't be watching out for themselves. All right. Diane is in the chat and we appreciate her. She's always here. She says, hey, taking a trip to Walt Disney World soon. Which restaurant, non-park, would you recommend for the most holiday feel? Doesn't matter which meal. Thanks. Ooh, that's a great question. Because we were just talking about how we're excited on Friday, the Sirius XM channels kick on for the holidays.
Yeah.
So they're getting close. And so Walt Disney World will be getting in the holiday spirit here, because as soon as Halloween's over on Thursday, it's full bore pretty soon. Holidays are kicking down at the parks. Man, the best holiday feel. Man. So obviously
Non-park, though, that's hard.
I would say, okay, well, I mean, this is obviously during the holiday season. I have two, and it's kind of adjacent experiences. One, I would say Whispering Canyon, because it's open to the big Christmas tree at Wilderness Lodge, and it gives you an excuse to go to the lodge. You gotta go to the lodge at Christmas. Have to do that.
Yes.
Good meal too. Also Grand Floridian Cafe, because again, adjacent to the Grand Floridian, you get the just the Grand Floridian's kind of the Victorian feel, Christmas kind of thing, and you got the gingerbread house that you can check out, and you can buy a shingle. I mean, where else can you actually chew on a house and take it away?
I know.
Yeah.
Piece of a house. Yeah, I'm going to go with a couple that are adjacent too, and that's somewhere over at the Yacht and Beach Club, because if you don't know, the Yacht Club has this really cool train display, and you have to sort of check it out because they have so many little things that have a Disney theme to it. Like there's a Hurricane Hannah's in there and whatnot. So there I'd probably go to Ale and Compass, or if you're looking for something fancy, of course you could do Yachtsman's Steakhouse. That would be a fun kind of meal. And over at the Beach Club, you could go to Cape May Cafe. And over there, they also have this fantastic gingerbread carousel. If you haven't seen it yet, it's spectacular. Like it's like almost like a full-sized kids carousel. And they do such a fantastic job. It's made out of usually like chocolate and gingerbread and whatnot. And you're looking at it and you're like, I cannot believe that this is made out of something edible. It turns around. There's always usually a little plaque there that tells you how many pounds of sugar they had to use to make it and whatnot. And heck, while you're there, walk over and see over at the boardwalk too. One other thing that they started doing at the Beach Club last year was they actually started selling gingerbread in the lobby as well. There was a little store there too, so you can get some gingerbread treats there too. So
we'll say that gingerbread carousel reminds me very much again of my childhood. They had a carousel about the exact same size outside of our Kmart in my town. Now,
oh yeah,
the one at the Yacht and the Beach smells. I think it's a Yacht. Is where it is, right? It's a Yacht, isn't it? Typically,
no. The Beach Club is where the carousel is. The Yacht Club's where the train is.
Okay, yep, I love the train. Okay, so the carousel though smells much better at Beach Club than it did at my Kmart.
The Kmart carousel has questionable smells, probably.
Oh, absolutely. In Florissant, Missouri, did not smell great. But I got the quarter and rode that sucker. And it was always, I don't know if like where you guys grew up, there was the carousel, the little bitty quarter carousel outside my Kmart. And then there was like the yellow horse, like the single horse, like you could get on that like bucked you. I mean, not hard, like it just kind of worked.
Right.
Or like shook you.
Yes.
I don't know what our obsession was with getting shook as kids, but we loved that.
We also usually had like a rocket.
Yes.
Or some kind of space vehicle of some sort.
The good old days, getting shook and rocketed to the moon. All right. Next question is from Len. It's been a while since we visited with our kids. We were able to drop them off at the kids club while we went to dinner. Now that we're traveling with the grandchildren, we're wondering if this type of service is still available at resort hotels. Pam Forrester, is this still available?
It is not.
No.
It is not. No, I know. It is. You know the one for a while Yacht and Beach or not sorry, not Yacht and Beach Club, but Swan and Dolphin did have something available if you were dining there. I don't know that even that one's still around though. So no, there are not kids clubs like there used to be. I remember we took now Hannah was really little and it was probably not long before the service ended, but we took her to the Neverland Club at the Polynesian. That was like the flagship kids club that it was. But no, I don't think there is. I do believe, though, that Kids Night Out is still operating, so you can have someone come to your room and do that kind of thing, but there is no organized kids service like that.
We used to always threaten Paige, like when she was young, like 4, 5, 6. If she was bad, we're gonna slam her in the Neverland Club. Like Jake.
Wow.
Like we're like, dude, you're going to the Neverland Club and we're going out if you're bad. I mean, I don't know if the Neverland Club was fun, but we're just like, we're putting you in there, kid. Not that it was like reward or anything. Because like they had commercials like on the resort TV and stuff. Like, yeah, you're going there.
Right.
We go or we pass it on the way, to dinner at Kona or something. Yeah, we're gonna. Because she was like an only kid, so we're gonna drop her. Like she won't go there by herself. We're like, yeah, shape up or ship out, kind of thing.
Oh.
But yeah, that was a cool thing. But here, you know what this is? This kind of sings what Disney Cruise Line has to offer, right?
Yes, right.
Disney Cruise Line, man. The kids, you can do this with the kids, grandkids, and I'll tell you what, the kids love the kids club, Oceaneer Lab, Oceaneer Club, Edge Vibe. I mean. If there's one, I mean, Disney Cruise Line does so many things so well. Real quick, I mean, I know Lynn's not asking about DCL, but kids love their spaces on the ships. If you ever get an opportunity, I mean, that's an opportunity where everybody can come together for dinner or not, if they don't want to. But those areas that are separated for the tweens, the teens, the kids, amazing. Disney Cruise Line.
For sure. I think that it kind of takes the guilt out of doing an adult only dinner because your kids actually get to have a fun time in the kids club. So yeah, many parents are like, we had to drag them out of the kids club. It's like, yeah, I know.
And Len said his kids love the clubs at Walt Disney World, had to drag them away. It's exactly the story on Cruise Line. So I'm glad to hear that. We were just joking with Paige because I mean, I'll be honest, Len, I was cheap and I wasn't going to pay for it. We already did pay for the tickets. We're going to go around and have a good time in the parks. So, that's the whole reason we were there for the three of us to be together. So that was kind of the deal. All right, Sean's got a question. Hey, happy Monday, BOGP crew. I like it. Blending Monday and Wednesday. Very smart.
Yes.
My wife and daughter just planned a last minute trip. My wife will be in Miami for a work conference. When the conference is over, she'll be driving to Orlando with my daughter and staying 2 nights at Old Key West. I know they do not charge for parking at the resorts. However, do they charge to park at the parks if you're staying on site? The reason I'm asking is because they were thinking about going to Epcot on their checkout day prior to returning the car at MCO. They want to get in as much time as possible at Epcot before flying home. Her idea was to check out at Old Key West, go to Epcot, and then drive straight to MCO from the park. Nope, you're good because you're an on-site guest.
Yep, you're an on-site guest till midnight that night when you check out. And that's one of the benefits of staying on site is that you do get free parking at all of the parks. So yeah, we do it all the time. And it's a great way to squeeze every last moment out of your vacation.
It's a great plan. How much is parking at the parks now? I mean, because I don't pay attention because I'm always on site. I mean, that's one of those things when you're always like, when I always do something like, like I've always had an annual pass and I've always had, like you don't pay attention to those things. But then like all of a sudden, like if you have to, you're like, holy smokes. It's like over $20 a day or something, isn't it? To park a car.
I would think so. I don't know either because I don't.
Probably I know because we always have like
we're the worst. Like we stay on site every time. So
I've seen it when I'm like running races, right? Because you run past the signs And like when I run past the signs, because I'm slow, right? So I have a lot of time to look at that sign. I'm like, holy cow! Like if I park my car, and I don't have a car though. I'm like, I should get a car just to park 7 days on a trip and get half of my annual pass back just on that. Holy smokes!
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's got to be at least $20. I bet you it's more than that because I'm always like on the low side of things. Anyway,
Yeah, it probably is.
second question. What time do the candlelight processional dining packages go on sale? I see they go on sale on the 29th, but I'm not seeing a specific time. Today's the 28th. This is
Yeah.
recording.
They don't really announce a point in time. I can tell you that dining is typically available to book starting at 6 a.m. Eastern, but the packages may or may not be available first thing in the morning. Sometimes it takes a while for them to load them in the system, but if it's something in particular that you're looking for, I'd go ahead and try right then and then try throughout the morning too. And hopefully they'll be loaded in.
And Adon says $30 a day to park.
$30.
Man, I mean, I guess that's what it is if you go to a ball game or anything. I saw the new somebody showing they have a new place where the Clippers play basketball out in California, the basketball team, and it was $70 to park at that place. I was like, holy cow! I can't imagine what the tickets cost. $70 to park your car. And I know like when we go to Chicago for to see Paige, you go downtown. That's the biggest rip too. Like if you stay at a hotel, holy smokes! Like not paying for parking in Florida is a big deal. Like at your hotel compared to like Chicago, man, they get you. Holy cow.
It's true. Like some of the different hotels that we've stayed at in the city, I think the most we've paid is like $75 a night to park, on top of, I know, right? And it's brutal when you do that, but what can you do? I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right? So,
I mean, yeah, we can do like cars got to go somewhere. Yeah, they know it, man. They got you.
100%.
All right, let's see here. Hey, Mike, Pam, Rikki, and Scott. My wife and I have been going to Disney World once or twice a year for the past 20 years. Some of those trips were booked by you, if I remember correctly. Thanks again. Well, thank you, John. Our upcoming trip will be the first since they changed the park reservation rules. I have a room and ticket package booked directly through Disney for October 25th through November 5th. The wording on the website when I booked said I have to make park reservations, but earlier this week, the cast member help center chat told me I don't need them for the tickets I have. Can you tell me if I truly need them or not? Thanks for everything. I've been listening every week now for over 10 years. John is in Illinois. Well, John, you're down there now, so have a good time. Hope you're having a great time. And so, Pam, do you want to go over kind of where we stand? Because it is kind of, we're in this weird area, and I thought by now this would have kind of clarified, but it hasn't. Because we kind of have the have and the have-nots with theme park reservations, and it really is kind of, you got to pay attention where you are with your ticket media.
And know what kind of ticket that you're buying. So when you buy a package directly from Disney or a travel agency like the Magic for Less, who books a package directly from Disney, a package that includes tickets, then you're going to have what's called date-based tickets, and they're going to be bought based on the dates that you're traveling. And because of that, you don't need to worry about park reservations because there are no park reservations for that. They've already sort of taken into account what days you may visit the parks. And that's wide open for you to do. If you have an annual pass or another ticket that's not based on the dates that you are going to Walt Disney World, then if you do need to make park reservations. Now, there are different rules, whether you're staying on site or off site, and the number of days you can make reservations in advance and things like that. There is some availability issues sometimes, but so those folks do have to make annual pass, a reservation with their annual pass. And there are some other types of tickets that do as well. Typically, those aren't ones that most consumers will get. Sometimes the military tickets are also tickets that will typically need to be getting park reservations. And if you're buying a standalone ticket from Disney or a travel agency like ours, typically you will not have to make park reservations either. So Lots of good pluses there. It is a little confusing, but typically when you're buying a ticket that needs reservations, that's made clear during the buying process.
Yeah. But if you have, if you have a room only reservation and a ticket, you have to be careful. You watch that you have theme park reservations if you need them. If you have a package, which is an 8-digit confirmation number, likely you're good. Because you have a package.
Right. Yes, you are. And in many cases, you'll be good too with a room only. It just depends on the type of ticket that you
If you have an annual pass. If you have a room only and an annual pass, then you got to make the park reservation. It's hard to say like a blanket rule, but I'm trying to give like a 90% rule.
Yes, a package, you're fine.
Yeah, see, I'm worried like there's gonna be some weird package out there that's like old or some kind of, somebody's got like, because there's 12-digit confirmation numbers and those are your room onlys, and there's 8-digit confirmation numbers, those are your packages, and packages include it's a ticket and it's more than one thing. It's like a ticket and room or ticket dining in room. It's all the components wrapped together. That's where you have the $200 deposit, fully refundable till 30 days out. That's when your final payment's due. Room onlys, it's the first night is your deposit and it's due at check-in, the balance, and refundable till 6 days prior, 5 days prior. So there are different rules for both, but it's I hesitate to give like a blanket rule, but that's kind of the thing you're looking for. So you have to be more wary of looking at theme park reservations with a room only. With packages, you're covered. That's the good thing about packages. Packages have a lot of benefits to them. The fully refundable. When you buy the tickets as part of the package, those tickets are still 100% refundable up until 30 days. Like you could just wipe it away at 31 days, no harm, no foul, nothing. Like once you buy like a standalone ticket, it's not refundable. So there's pluses and minuses, and you don't have to worry about theme park.
There are, but I think as we've seen the increase in annual passes, the annual pass makes sense for less and less folks, right? I mean, that is something that Disney has sort of shifted away from, and you completely understand why in that space because of that. But like Mike said, when you do buy a package, it is fully refundable up until 30 days before. And that's a huge benefit for people. I can't tell you how many people have come to us and they're like, I bought these tickets from somewhere and now I need to cancel. What can I do? And you can't. The only thing you can do is get a credit that can be used at a future date. So
Maureen says she uses something called Superhero, where they find a spot, like when they could they go to a hotel in a city that's got like exorbitant parking prices. And they'll find a nearby parking spot for a fraction of the cost. And in big cities, there's often a garage nearby that has like a way lower cost, and you'll put your car there and save you money.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You're being more creative than I am.
I'm such a mid. Oh, it's called Spot Hero. Sorry, Spot Hero. That's
Spot Hero.
But yeah, that's man, like I'm a Midwest dude. Like that's one thing, when I listen to tons of podcasts, right? And I love about podcasts is like you get different perspectives on people's lives, because some people live in New York City and like they've never driven and they're 45 years old, never had a driver's license, and they take public transportation. We don't have public transportation where I live. You know what I'm saying? Like you would never be able to go to Taco Bell if you didn't have like I've been driving it since I had a riding lawnmower when I was like 10. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you drove a go-kart, a riding lawnmower, and a tractor where I'm from. And I skipped school on my 16th birthday and got my license. So did my daughter. Mallory's had a car since 2 days after she was 16. It's just how it is. And, it's so funny because like to think about, like when I go to Chicago, man, it kills me. Like everything around here and cheap, like to park and stuff like that. And then I go up there, holy cow. Like, I know I love seeing Paige, but man, I can't wait to get out of that city when I'm there. I'm just like, I'm not made for this. Like those downtown there just gives me I get nervous. I know I'm getting old. Like I can't.
You're sounding like my grandma used to.
It's a big city, man. I get older, I get, man. It's like too expensive and too many people. I can't do $75 parking spaces, man. I'm like, man, I can't. I know, man. It's just like I don't know if it's like the last 5 years or what, man. My brain's getting messed up. I can't do it. And anyway, Andrew's got a question. She says, "Hello, would love everyone's advice here on what you would do. Love y'all's feedback. We currently have a split stay for mid-December at Pop for 4 nights and Coronado Springs, Grandestino Tower for 3 nights. We were able to get the quick service dining plan for the Pop Century part. We have 5 adults going with 2 rooms each at both. we were able to take advantage of the new holiday promotion for the nights at Coronado Springs. We can switch for the whole week at Coronado Springs Grandestino Tower, but we'll lose the free dining for no increase in cost. Would save about $200 overall. We've been to Pop before, but not since they had the Skyliner. None of us have been to Coronado Springs. Hate losing out on the free dining, even for a few days. We'll be there from 12:14 to 12:21. It'll be they're going to be the adults are going to be in their 50s and a 17-year-old daughter and a 20-year-old son. What would the fine folks at BOGP do? So you're giving up the free dining and you're giving up eyeliner, but you're gaining Coronado Springs for the entire stay. That's a good question, because I like 2 experiences on one trip. I do kind of like that. But I like Coronado Springs. The tower is almost a deluxe resort.
I know.
That's a tough call. I don't have a good answer.
I know, it really is a tough call. How many nights are they at Pop?
So they're going to be at Pop for 4, Grandestino for 3. So that would put them at Grandestino for 7. This is, I mean, really, you can't go wrong with it. The good news is if you keep it as is, you're going to have, because Pop is fine. They got 2 rooms at each. And you got the Skyliner so convenient, because it was, especially with the split stay, because then what I would encourage them to do is during the split, while they're at Pop, I would totally focus on Epcot and the studios during those days.
Right.
And then while you're at Coronado, focus on Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom, because that would make more sense.
Right. Oh, there isn't first. You're right, Mike. There's no wrong answer. I like experiencing 2 resorts too, but I will say the past few times when I've been able to stay in one place for a whole 7 nights, I've really enjoyed that as well. Like, I see the benefits. Now, when I go, if we're there for 8 nights, I'm usually staying at 3 different resorts.
100%.
And that's just how it goes, but I would not recommend that for everyone, I will say. When it's just me and my family, sometimes I'm like, I just want to stay in one place for the whole time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So
we're not.
I'm going to say, here's what I'm going to do. Like, if this was me, I would keep it as is and do the 2 resorts, because as much as, and Coronado is my favorite resort right now for the for like the overall, like, best value in your stay. I think Coronado is where it's at right now. I think you get the best bang for your buck. Coronado. It's got a great location, got great dining on site, great rooms, whether in the tower or not. I just love the vibe there. Great pool, good running, 2 fitness centers. I mean, it's really got it going on. However, I like the combo of Pop Century, because that's a really nice value. Skyliner is, I mean, she's never experienced a Skyliner. The Skyliner is a game changer when you're going to the studios and to Epcot. But make sure that, here's the thing though, make sure you work your schedule, especially because you're going to be there during busy times, to be, mid-December, the 14th to the 21st. Do weight your schedule to where you are when you're at Pop. You're taking advantage of Epcot and the studios, and then save Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom towards the Coronado, because that's when you're going to want to take the bus more. And if you do that, I think that would work better in your favor, and you'll have a great time. Because I think at 2 resorts in 7 days is doable. Sometimes the switch day, not perfect, but yeah. And keep your offer, keep your free dining offer. Yeah, do it. I say stay. But either way, it's fine. Okay.
We're very wishy-washy.
We are, but I mean, because really you can't, I mean, that is really right. I mean, that's like a 50-50. That's not that. There's really no right answer on that one, man. That's right.
There's not.
Good girl. She's sleeping. All right. Vera Mike here over on YouTube says, will we see anything happen with the Galactic Star Cruiser? That's a good question, man. That thing has been sitting there like Riley sitting here on her bed. She's out like a light, man. That thing is just, it's a dog lying there sleeping over there behind the, speaking of the studios. We haven't heard a peep out of that thing in about a year. What's happening, Pam? Anything?
I don't know. I wish I did know. I did get to experience it, and it's actually one of the best things I've ever done at Walt Disney World. I was really sad to see it close, because I think it offered such a unique opportunity. There's always rumors out there about what they might do, but I've heard nothing that is anything that they're acting on or doing anything like that. So I don't know. We just have to wait and see and hope that it comes back and for something, because it's right there at Hollywood Studios.
It's crazy though that, I mean, you know, we've had these discussions over the years. We've been doing this for over 16 years at this point, and the fact that we got something like that built that would have been crazy to think about when we started the show back in 2008, 2009. And what's even crazier than the discussion that something like that got built, it was like a, you know, it's a boutique kind of an experience, boutique, not even kind of a hotel because you spent the night there for a couple of nights, very immersive, interactive experience. But even more than that is the fact that that thing is sitting there right now, empty. Like, I think that's more of the story than even that the thing got built and the whole experience. Like that it's almost gone from everybody's memory at this point. It's crazy. Like
I'm sure most people don't even know about it.
You think at this point most people don't even
I
know
think most people don't know about it. Yeah. We sort of live in a bubble in that. We had just gotten back from a summit and for Earmark Travel Agency owners, and they were reminding us that at least a third of the people who are going to Walt Disney World haven't been there since Pandora has opened.
That is crazy. See, I think that that's the problem for us, right? And I'm talking about the listeners, right? Our audience is that we are so immersed. Like, you ask us how much a cupcake is at, you know, the patisserie, we could tell you. Like, we're all in, you know, but
right,
we're not the audience. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not the typical Disney visitor. And I think that's what I think it's important that you get this kind of info when you go to these Earmark conferences and stuff.
It's valuable when they share that kind of information to us because we are really in a bubble. And I'm sure a lot of the folks that we're talking to right now are sort of in the same. I remember, I mean, I say this often, but first of all, I remember going as a kid. And my family actually went more often than most, but Disney World was not a place that everyone went to every year on vacation, right? I mean, that wasn't something that they did. And I remember the times that I went growing up, my family was sort of, you know, sort of obsessed with it. You know, my grandmother was the first one who sort of got us into it all. And we all have such fond memories that I think that sort of carries through. But when we would go as a kid, the first time I went, the Magic Kingdom was the only thing there. We spent all week at the Magic Kingdom. Like, we did a separate land each day or whatever, because the lines were just incredible. Like, I have, you know, lots of memories of Pirates of the Caribbean because I think we spent a day and a half in line for Pirates of the Caribbean.
You had no problem because that was just that was
what you knew.
Going to Disney back then. That was
it was
the excitement. It was the anticipation of getting in the boat, you know, and you appreciated the queue more back then. You know, it's like, ooh, there's a cannon there. There's people playing chess, you know, skeletons. It was, the expectations were different.
I think so. That's what I mean. Anytime something changes and the world is like freaking out because it's different, like, it's easy to go back to that point and be like, well, the first time I went, I just remember still it was a completely different experience and still really magical. Like, that's the thing. I think that you're just sort of comparing it to what you know now. So when all of us who are in the Disney bubble are freaking out about something or other, there's a whole world out there who doesn't even know about it and doesn't know the difference. So
I wanted to bring this up on this show today because I was waiting for listener questions, because kind of the catch-all. Disney has that marketing campaign that I dogged them on about 2 months ago, where they talk about showing your Disney moment. Like, there's a shotgun crew coming around, like, who's got a Disney moment? And, like, you know, everybody pulls out their phone and they're like, I have one, you know, somebody in the crowd. Yeah. Like, it's like spontaneous. It's not, because there's like 7 camera people there. And they're like, oh, here's mine. And the guy put the daughter on the shoulders at the moment, right? And I'm like, dude, don't, what are you doing? We don't want people putting kids on their shoulders. And we rallied about that forever. They have another one out that was on during the football game, the LSU Texas A&M football game, which is a great game on Saturday night. And I'm like, oh yeah, because they're on ABC. So this one rocked. They nailed this one. And so I got to give them kudos on this one. They got it back. So the premise of this one was, again, they're in a restaurant or something. Who's got a Disney moment? And everybody in the restaurant's like, I got one. His dad pulls out a phone. I can find it. He's going through his pictures. Here it is. He's like, let me show you this picture. And he's like, everybody leans in. All right, let me tell you the story. And he shows a picture. It's a kid with a Mickey Mouse, a little stuffed Mickey Mouse. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm in because I got to hear the story of this little plush Mickey Mouse. They got me already. He's like, so this is my son. I'm like, well, kind of figured that probably, but okay, here we go. Glad you told me. We adopted him. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm going to be crying by the end of this 22 seconds. Why are you playing with me, man, already? I'm like, oh, yeah, here we go. We adopted him and we took him to, and the only thing he had when we adopted him was his stuffed Mickey Mouse. I'm like, stop already. So when they adopted him, they took him to Magic Kingdom, to Walt Disney World. And so they took him, I guess the first ride they took him on was a Jungle Cruise. And so I'm almost joking up just trying to tell the story.
I know, right?
That's why I love Disney. It's they put him on the boat, right? They're all having a good time. Skipper's like, doing his thing and everything. Well, apparently Mickey goes overboard. Like the kid drops him or something. He goes in the water. The skipper stops the boat and fishes Mickey out of the water because he says something like, every kid, you can't go through the rest of your day at the Magic Kingdom without your stuffed Mickey. And so the dad shows again the picture of Mickey and I think the skipper or something, Mickey with the kid with Mickey. And I'm just like, and that was his Disney moment that he shared. And I'm just like, that's exactly what this is all about, right? I mean, that nailed it because it's a small story, but it's a story of family coming together and celebrating a seminal moment in your life that is marked by going to Disney. And I think we all kind of have those, but I thought they nailed it on that promotion. That really hit me.
They did, and they sort of talked about this. We had some of the folks there that were responsible for some of these campaigns, and they talked about how they were setting up this question that really only Disney could ask. And it was to go to people and see that, they knew that at least, a high percentage of folks that they approached with this question were going to have a picture of a Disney moment in their phone. And we all do. I mean, all of us listening will have it. But when they were talking about that, when they were showing us some of the different clips that they had, it was completely overwhelming because it reminded me and brought me right there to why I love what I get to do every day. In some way, we get to be a part of people's best days, the days that become your favorite day, right? I mean, so many of our favorite days happened at one of the Disney destinations. And the fact that we have a chance to be a part of that with someone, that we have a chance to be part of someone's best day is a pretty cool thing.
It's a privilege. It's 100% a privilege. You get to do. It's so awesome. So let me give you an example. So on iOS, if you have an iPhone, there's an option to set up your home screen where it will it's called Photo Shuffle, and it'll go through your photos and you can pick your favorite people. So I have Pam, Mallory, and Paige is my people, and it does landscape pictures that I take. So those are the 4 things, and just goes through, and I got 30,000 pictures on my phone, and so it just every hour it changes. On the hour it changes a picture, so it's got 30,000 pick from. And so right here is my script for the people watching. Oh, it just changed. Well, now it's Mallory with a cow at the rodeo. So it's not as great of a story. But the picture it was before I pushed the button there and it rolled over to the next hour was Mallory biting into a medal at a Run Disney race when she was a little kid, at a little Run Disney race. It was over at ESPN, at the ESPN area on the track. And, she's 16 now, almost 17. This was back when she was 6. So that could be right there. If they asked me, I could have told the whole story about that. She met Carissa that day, the announcer, got her picture with her. She's not a runner, but I think actually that weekend we ran a 5K together through Epcot. We got a picture, just did it side by side, father and daughter. And she ran the little mile run that day before. That was a father-daughter moment. We got to do something together. Again, you're right. I mean, I love that kind of stuff. I would have loved to got to meet the marketing people, the advertising people, because what a campaign. I love that idea because
It is.
I would love to hear our listeners, like, what's your Disney moment? Like, show me the picture, tell me the story. I love that because, dude, I'd be crying. Like, I couldn't do it because I'd be crying for everybody. I'm a crier. I mean, Scott's been telling me about the senior night stuff for Emily because she's going through it. I'm like, dude, stop. I can't. Like, because Mallory will be doing that next year. Oh, it'll be a mess. A mess. Anyway, let's get to the last question of the day. It is from Melissa. I was just on my morning walk with my dog, listening to your most recent podcast, and I had the thought. Oh, this well, I'll ask you this. When you ask a guest, what is something you might want to bring back from the old days of Disney World? I had a thought about a slightly different version of the question because it made me think back to my childhood and my first few visits to Disney World. I remember thinking about how I loved driving in that long entrance road. You could turn your radio to the channel to hear all the information about the parks, and it just felt like you were driving into a completely different world, leaving the real world behind, and everything was so clean and manicured and all full of flowers. And so anyway, I was thinking one interesting question you might want to ask was your first impression of your first visit to Disney World and what made you feel like you wanted to return. What was it about those first impressions that brought you back again and again, possibly? Anyway, just a thought. Love you guys and your channel. Have a great day, Melissa. So she's asking, like, when I ask my guests on Mondays, what, or in the Monday trip report shows, I always kind of have a lead-in question, but I never got to experience that radio question. So I think that's the radio channel, and I've heard people talk about it because I love radio. My dad works in radio and stuff. I don't love that, but what was it that hooked you as we kind of wrap up? Because to me, it is the manicure and the logistics. I've said that a million times. I love how perfectly manicured things are, and I love the 24/7, 365 of the place. It just never stops.
I agree. It felt to me like so much more than a vacation. It felt like it felt magical. I know that feels very cliche, but it truly felt magical. It just felt different than anything I've ever experienced. And I think too, I mean, in my life, I feel like vacations were so important because when I was younger, my parents got divorced, but we would travel with each set, right? We would, with each set of parents, we would go places with my mom and my stepdad, and Disney was one of them. And we would go places with my dad. And so, I mean, I know that maybe looking back on my memories, like your memory could be a little faulty, right? And you place a little more importance on it than you should. But I just remember every time I went, it was just so different than anything else out there to experience. It really is. There are other theme parks, but Disney feels very different, even today, even this day. I mean, this is why my family and I end up going back again and again. There is just something about it that just feels different and feels special. And you feel it when you're there for sure. And you feel it looking back on those things too. So,
and I do love that there is a tangible, like, gate or arch that you drive under. That's like there's a moment that you have arrived. It is like it's sad on the way out because you do have to pass the other way.
You pass through the gates. Yeah.
You see it coming, like, there's I'm going to be under it in 10 seconds. 9, 8. Oh, I'm off property. Bummer.
Yep.
I'll be back. But yeah, but it is cool because, sometimes if you get a good Uber driver, they'll be like, hey, here we go. I mean, I've had Uber drivers do that. Hey, we're going to, hey, like, it's cool. But, sometimes they could care less. But like the Magical Express drivers, RIP, used to kind of make a big deal out of that and stuff. I mean, it's an experience. I mean, it's what we look forward to for a long, long time. It's kind of a goal. And it's like, it's almost like touchdown. We made it.
Right.
Cool.
You're about to embark on something special.
Yeah. It's like you've made it. It's like Clark Griswold, putting the star on the tree, kind of.
Yes.
Hopefully a squirrel doesn't come out and get you. Who knows? You gotta be careful. Watch out for the squirrel. All right, we're gonna get out of here, and we'll be back again on Friday. We're gonna have a good time. Friday, what the show's gonna be about? We don't either. So come back and find out. We are always sponsored by the Magic for Less Travel. One thing we know is you're going to get first-class concierge level service with each and every trip, whether it's out to the West Coast. Disneyland is happening. It's awesome. It's fun. So is Walt Disney World. That's why we love it so much. Disney Cruise Line, the place to be out at sea with awesome onboard credits as well, and see the world with Adventures by Disney. Our services are absolutely free to you. Check out all the details, and it's a great place to get some great trip planning tools right there to start. You're thinking about a trip, just check out all the great pictures, great tools to get that trip planning started over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. That really does help us out. And patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. That's where you can support the show, just $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. And thank you to our supporters. We appreciate you so very much. Give us a follow on the social media. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. Pam's at TMFLT Pam. You could also follow the show on Instagram at Be Our Guest Pod. Please do that on Instagram as well. And we'll have our live call-in show this Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. We have a great time on those. Scott joins me. We open up the phone lines. Those are a hoot and a half. It'll be super dark because, again, the time change. But, it's the internet, so who cares? And because we don't do these outside, we do them inside. We have electricity. So I don't even know why I said that. And don't forget the clubhouse. It's never dark there either because it's on the internet. Just come over, beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse, and Crustables for everybody, as Jason says. So bring them. I think he likes the strawberry ones. I am a fan of peanut butter and jelly. All right, we're going to get out of here, and we'll be back again on Friday. But of course, we'll have the replay of the Sunday show tomorrow for Halloween. So until we get back together again, you guys stay safe, stay healthy, and boo to you. Oh, let me edit that real quick. Oh, hang on. Well, no, I'll edit that. 2, 5, 8, 1. Yeah, let me edit that because I'll totally forget that. That little spot.
I know. So weird.
That in there, like, I was like, dude, you not hear me? Because you never have done that before, and I'm just like,
are you? It has never happened to me, and I didn't do anything to fix it. So it's like,
I was like, is she okay? I was worried, like you were having like a stroke. I was like, you were like looking at me. Hang on 1 second. Let's get this out here. War in your childhood when you went trick or treating. One of those two things. What do you got? I was like, are you still there?
The sound totally went out.
I was like, hello. Got me
now
back?
I can. I know. It's like sound.
Now can you hear me though? So we have been. What's craziest candy or thing you got when you went trick or treating? But yeah, so let's hope not. We'll see. But yeah, so actually for our live call-in show Sunday night, we had a couple passwords. Just over throw it here to you as we are in the Halloween season, closing it out here past the password. And this past Sunday night, I don't think I'm there yet, but let's hope not. We'll see. But so we have been having a password on our Sunday night live call-in shows. Let's hope not. We'll see. But so we have been having a password on our for our callers before they're allowed to talk. But let's hope not. So we have been there. Got it. Save.
So crazy.
All right. Let me save that bad boy. Add Rikki. And Thank you for the question, Mego, and happy birthday to your husband. We said it was Wednesday because they were recording the Wednesday show, but it is Monday and we are actually live. We're not fake.
Not at this moment. Talk to us. We'll see if AI will replace us at some point.
Exactly. That'd be funny. All right, close all. And do. Pam's got conferences tonight till 7:30 and tomorrow night.
Wow.
till 7:30.
Hannah did her
Sorry,
first ever
guys.
conferences already.
Hi.
She did. Hey.
It's been a day. Well, actually, it's just been an hour. We're all good now.
Been there.
So she's home. Brian's home. Everything's okay. I just hear,
That's good.
yeah, everything's okay. I think so we're good. Coach just got a fever, but I think it's just a small fever. So a low grade fever, but I have to stay home tomorrow.
You have to, or you get to.
No, I have to. No, trust me. I would much rather be at work. It's a lot harder to do what I have to do on one monitor than it is my 3 or 2 at work and with everybody else there. So it's a lot harder. But that's okay. I'll spread.
Check, make sure you're on your mic.
I should be.
You might be. You might have been just too far back.
Yeah. Let me hang on. I'm gonna move it closer to me.
Yeah, I think you are on it. You were just way back. Do.
I think it was facing down, and I think that's the
Yeah,
button.
that was it.
That was it.
Sounds
Yep.
like-
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. So we're good now.
It was just bouncing off the room a lot.
Yeah, that's why it was facing down.
So, anybody have anything they want to talk about for Friday? Let's talk news.
Let's see here. It's
It's the first Disney weekend.
Yeah.
Crazy things because, like, so Jody and a bunch of the lizards are doing an all-nighter. They're going to the Halloween party and then going straight to the 5K.
Ugh.
So I was thinking about doing like craziest things we've ever done at a Disney park, like
Ooh.
a lead-in.
Okay.
Looking back, like the things that almost killed us, something like that. Maybe that could be a lead-in.
Oy.
I
Wait,
think
Pam says, "Oi."
I'm trying to think. Like, I feel like I've done so many weird things. That...
I mean, like, did you do the 24-hour day or anybody?
Yes, I did.
Like
I actually did. I did. Yes.
Yes.
That was going to be my thing.
Like extra magic hours till 3 a.m. Stuff like that.
I haven't done that. Yeah.
We'll do that all the time.
Um.
And we could talk news at the top just to kill some time. It doesn't have to be, doesn't have to be, super serious.
Mhm.
Ooh, I like that.
Alright.
Idea. That's a good show. Dedicated to it. We will do that show, but we gotta give it a little thought.
Thoughtsy thoughts.
Yeah,
Yes,
maybe
thoughts.
next Friday. Let's go for maybe next Friday. I like that idea though. Because I had to do that in 22. I had to kind of think about everything. I like that idea though, but I'll give it a little thought more than 2 seconds. I'm going to do that one right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
So do that.
that's good stuff.
All right. So let's do that. Okay. So
Okay, that's fine.
2583. Here we go. Welcome to episode 2583 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Hope you're having a great start to the weekend already. And for all that leftover Halloween candy, you can send that care of the Be Our Guest Podcast Studios, St. Peters, Missouri. 63 blah, 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 blah. Send it this way. I will take all chocolate this way. Anything?
I also take.
Nope. I called it first.
Nope.
Anything your kids don't want, I will take that easily off your hands. Donated right here to the BOGP Studios. It's a
I'm also a BOGP Studios. I'm just saying.
Okay, that's right. You're the South, but I called it first. So bring it this way. I need it after the way my football team performed last Saturday. I need to drown myself in fun-sized candy, folks.
I need it.
It is required that I have some fun-sized candy.
I had to bust that out Halloween season one more time. All right, today we're gonna have a good time. Kind of a lot of topics. We're gonna have a fun show because it's November 1st. It's November. It is November. Holy
Merry
smokes.
Christmas.
Ah.
Happy holidays.
Sirius XM started their holiday channels today. I mean,
Mariah Carey has been thought out. It's official.
All I want for Christmas is you. I guess.
I
Anyway.
can imagine. I've already heard that song by now. Yeah.
And have you Whamageddon? I guess it started again.
Oh, yeah, Swamageddon for sure.
I should put that as the intro on this and just wipe everybody.
You'll ruin everybody. Yeah.
That wouldn't be very funny. That would be very nice.
It would be really. It actually would be
funny.
hysterical, but people would be ticked off at you. Yeah.
It'd be hilarious for me, but it wouldn't be very nice. I should do that. I'd be cracking up all weekend. Shout out, by the way, Francis Howell cheerleaders going for a state championship tomorrow out at Mizzou. All right, so we're getting to the Disney talk today. It's gonna be a wild one because we're still high in the sugar high from Halloween last night. Joining us, we have Rikki from a Disney World After All.com and the MouseForLess.com. Rikki, happy November. Oh, also happy birthday to Paige tomorrow.
Well, I have a happy birthday today. It is my brother's birthday today, so happy birthday, Casey. So I have a fantastic present for you, and you'll get it probably in December when I come to see you down for Christmas. But it is November. Very exciting and definitely on that sugar high. Got lots of candy last night, and basically, pretty much the past month, it's just been all candy. And I have really exciting news that one of the things that I've been kind of trying to figure out now that Lucy is getting older is that first haircut. And of course, I wanted to do her first haircut at Walt Disney World. I wanted it to be on Main Street USA, and I officially am so excited to say that her first haircut's going to be on Main Street USA. It is going to be in December during the Christmas holidays. I kind of lucked into I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, I should probably check to see if when I can make reservations because I knew we'd be down there around Christmas. And I was like, I wonder if reservations are available for if it's because I lost track on the 60-day time window. And so I was like, okay, let me just look. And so I looked and I saw that they had the 23rd available. And I was like, oh, that's still too early. So I'll look later. And then I was like, wait a minute. I'm going to be there. That's actually a perfect day. So she's going to get her haircut on the 23rd of December. And I'm so excited.
Nice. is a veteran of the barbershop, Harmony Barbershop, many times. It's a great place. It's a good barber.
It's a veteran of the Harmony Barbershop too. So I'm so excited that I'm actually going to get her first haircut on Main Street because I've been trying to figure out the timing and if it would even work. And I just kind of was like, oh, actually this does work. So yeah, so excited.
Sweet.
That's fun.
To be honest, it's one of the best bargains around.
It is. That first haircut really is too. I mean, to be perfectly honest, and you get ears. I think you get pixie dust. And I'm pretty sure I get a lock of her hair. So I'm excited.
I told them it's my first haircut. They didn't buy it.
No.
I was like 40.
What?
I know, it's 42, and they're like, dude, you've had your hair before. But they did cut my hair and they put pixie dust in it. So I got two.
That's good.
I got the meatloaf special.
Nice.
Some people will get that, some people won't. All right, also joining us, Pam got that. She's the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, Pam Forrester. Pam, happy November. And I'm not a no shave November guy, so I will shave. I couldn't grow a beard. Pay me $1,000. But
yeah, well, some people have more of a motivation.
I see these high school kids that come out looking like Paul Bunyan. I couldn't do that. Like, saved my life. Like our linebackers. I'm like, what? I was like, I got a beard. He's 12.
Yes, happy November. I'm in awe. I know I said this on Wednesday, but I still can't believe we're here. But lots of good stuff happening. I'm really looking to 2025.
Oh my God.
There's some good stuff happening in the park.
What did you just say? 2025? No, I can't believe we're getting that close. I'm sorry.
Within 2 months, you are. Yeah, so you cannot stop the march of time. But I'm so excited to see all these different projects that are happening in the different Disney destinations. There's a lot of good stuff coming, and I've just been thinking about it. I think we'll slowly get more information about each of these things. And as they start the projects and as they just
Pam,
looking forward to it.
You're missing the biggest thing. I mean, Epic actually opens in 2025.
It does
which,
open in 2025. Yes.
The more and more I hear about Epic, the more excited I'm getting. It sounds really amazing. So
I'm interested to see what happens there, how they'll handle all that. Hopefully, all the folks are out of the queues looking for all the AP holders are out of their queue at this point. Looking for that. So yes, I know. So it'll be a big year for theme parks. It'll be a good year for things to happen for sure.
For sure.
So before we get to today's topic, which I have something, because I send a shout out to the lizards, especially a subset of them. We got news earlier last week that the Disney Treasure got the keys turned over to Disney Cruise Line 6 days early. And so we had this discussion on the Sunday Night Live call-in show about how that process actually works. Like, I mean, I know they signed some papers there in the lobby and all that, got that going. And so I guess at that point it's gone through the sea trials, and now I guess it's headed out to New York, right, Pam? And I guess the ship has a set of keys or something. They hand the keys over to the captain.
Here you go.
Like driving off the lot, the warranties, boy.
Here's your key. Yeah, the warrant. Yep. This ship costs half of what it originally cost, so it's over now. Yeah.
Depreciation kicks in immediately. I don't know.
Exactly. Total depreciation.
Because I mean, like I've only bought like a Jeep, back in 2012. That was my only new car I've owned in my whole life, and I'm gonna drive that sucker till the wheels fall off. But I don't know how it works with ships. But yeah, the Disneyland now owns the Treasure officially, and I'm excited. It's gonna be a fun show.
I know, and it's going to come over, and it will stop in New York. I actually have the opportunity to go tour her up there before she heads down to Florida now. So I'm looking forward to that. And then we'll sail on her in early December to check it out. So yes, it looks awesome. You saw Thomas Maslam over there they get handed over the keys. He is the president of Signature Services, which includes Disney Cruise Line and ABD and some other things. So just it's an exciting time to be a Disney fan, to be a theme park fan. We have all these new experiences to look forward to. I'm really looking forward to everything that the Treasure is going to have. So I'll be excited.
Will the Coco restaurant serve Spanish/Mexican food? Please.
I don't know.
Yes,
maybe.
I think so. Yes.
Rikki, yes.
There will be some inspired, I'm sure. Whether it will be authentic or not, I don't know. But yes.
America.
Right. There's that.
Because I love like mariachi music too, right? I mean, come on now. It's got to be some mariachi music.
Yes. Yes, there's gonna be a show at least, and it's gonna be Coco inspired.
Yes.
So
I've never seen the movie, but I got to check out the movie at some point before I go on that ship, and I am going to do that.
It is sad.
I know, that's why I haven't watched it.
But it's good.
Sad movies. I hate sad movies.
I mean, it's not as sad as Up.
Not all.
Yeah,
of
it's
it.
not.
I'd like
It's not. Yeah.
my heart out. I can't watch like Field of Dreams. Like
No, it's not that sad.
I ball.
It's not. No. It's not. It's not Field of Dreams. It's not Up. It's not Toy Story 3. It's just got like a sad moment to it, but it's a heartwarming sad moment.
But I do like that kind of music, and I love the Spanish culture. Like I took Spanish 5 years. Like I should be able to speak Spanish. I should actually be able to write Spanish. I should be able to do a lot in Spanish for 5 years. But
it is. It's one of my favorite movies. It's a really sweet movie. So.
And I mean, I was called Miguel all through high school in Spanish class. Dr. Stevenson always threw me out in the hall because I talked too much. That's probably why I can't speak Spanish, because I spent half of high school in the hall because I spoke too much. Probably not in Spanish, more in English to my buddies. Miguel.
Probably.
And then I, coached her daughter in soccer, and it was so funny because she was always on the sidelines. All right. So anyway, today we're to the Disney topic. Today starts the first Run Disney weekend of the 2024-2025 season. Shout out to our Be Our Guest podcast Lizards. If you don't know, that is our running squad who has been going strong over 10 years in literally tens of thousands of miles run at the Run Disney races over this time. Raised tons of money for charity, for Give Kids the World. Just in a tremendous group of just amazing people They're down at Wine and Dine race weekend to kick off another great season. Just want to say, have a super, super weekend running the 5, 10 and a half this weekend. Eat all the good stuff, run all the fun miles, and we are behind you 100%. I wish I could be there, but Mallory is cheering at Mizzou this weekend for the state championships, so I'll be out there. But I'll be joining you guys at Marathon Weekend, and we'll be having a good time out there. But you guys led to today's topic of today's show. So if you're listening to this while you're down there this weekend, here's what we're talking about. Inspired by our lizards, because this is what the Be Our Guest podcast lizards do. They do crazy stuff. And I'm talking stuff that is not recommended for the normal human being. So some of our lizards apparently are doing something that started last night. As you're listening to the show on Friday morning. Now, if you download the show when it comes out, this is happening at the time the show comes out, late on Halloween evening. Okay. So this is actually in real time. If you because this show is going to hit the feed on Halloween night at around 9:00 Eastern is when it releases for Friday morning commutes. Right. So this is like hitting right as this whole situation is unfolding. So this is like, if you're hitting this on your phone, this could be right while this is unfolding, this whole bad situation that could be
as it is happening.
Yes.
Exactly. This is a train wreck in real time, possibly. So Jody Benning and some of the lizards out there got this great idea. So if you don't know, with the Run Disney races, you have to sign up for them months and months in advance. I mean, like usually it's about 9 months leadway. You sign up for these races and you're like, yes, I'm going to sign up. I'm going to get in this virtual queue and it's going to stop my heart. And I'm going to have to get on 7 different devices. And hopefully I get in, I pay a whole bunch of money. And then I post all my pictures on social media that I got in. Woohoo. And that's how it goes. Yes. We all do that. We pay way too much. Then we get down there, we get our shirts and everything. We're excited. Well, Wine and Dine has a really, it's interesting because you have a lot going on. You have a festival going on during this race weekend. Obviously the Wine and Dine, or the Food and Wine Festival is going on. Mm-hmm. You also get a hard ticket event ticket for the runner. Mm-hmm. You get to go to the special after party for the race, where you get to go to Epcot and have this special party, ride some rides and eat some food, which is really, really cool. That makes this weekend really special. However, Run Disney racers are never fully satisfied. They always have to do one extra thing. So Jody and a bunch of the lizards got this great hair in their head. My dad would have called this something else.
Something else begins with hair.
No, up there or something, but my dad would have said that, but I'm not going to say it here. But so they're going to go to the last Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party on Thursday night. So, the Halloween party goes, it ends at 1 a.m., correct?
It ends at midnight.
Midnight. Either way, who cares? It's super late. I go to bed at 9. So it's up way late. Okay. So now, if you don't know, Run Disney races start at 5 a.m. So, which means you got to be on the bus at 3 a.m. to get to your corral, which means you got to leave your hotel room at 2:30-ish. So these people, these great lizards, which are amazing athletes, don't get me wrong, they're everyday people that transform into amazing athletes in outstanding costumes for most of these races. You think they're everyday people. Oh, no, they're not. They're pulling an all-nighter. Now, these are parents, mind you, that they're going to have kids in college and high school here when they go home. But they're the ones pulling the all-nighters, and they're going to go out and run 3 miles and 6 miles and 13 miles over the next few days because they're awesome. So that leads to our conversation today. We're going to talk about some of the craziest, some people might call it dumb, but we call it awesome stuff we've done at the Disney parks over the past amount of time. So shout out to Jody and the crew that's pulling the all-nighter. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. Eat all the candy. I mean, you got to do
yes. That. Oh, you got to be on the sugar high completely. And you're running the next day or morning.
Go back and throw on a costume or some running sneakers or whatever you're going to do. Hop on a bus, fall asleep on the ride over to Epcot, and then run your race. And then probably just go strong the next day. I mean, bite the bug that bit you and just keep going. Just don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough, as Michael Jackson said. Just keep going. And just keep posting. I got to see how this unfolds. It's like watching a train wreck in real time. So have fun. You inspired us to do a show today about it. So enjoy that Halloween party, enjoy the 5K, 10, half, and just keep going. And you can sleep Monday at work, I guess. All right, Rikki. So what's something you've done at the Disney parks that just like most people would say, you did what? Like, why?
Yeah, this is the one that I think most people would think of, because this really was crazy. Like, I mean, absolutely insane. So a few years back, Disney had these 24-hour nights. They were for, well, it started out for actually a leap year, 1 year. And so Disney said, okay, we've got an extra day, so we're going to give you 24 hours of Disney fun for a leap year day. And it was so popular that they rolled it out for the next year. And I don't remember that year they rolled it out for Memorial Day, but they did it a third year too. And I think it was the third year that I ended up doing it. And that was the last year they ended up doing it. And so that one I know for sure they did on Memorial Day. And it was the Friday of Memorial Day weekend. I'm pretty sure that it was. So the crazy thing that I did is, yes, of course, I did actually attend the 24-hour day. However, I did it in a completely different way. Because you see, I started my 24-hour day in Atlanta, Georgia. So my day started at work that day. And I actually worked a full 8-hour day. And then I got in my car, and I drove the 7 hours down to Florida after working a full 8-hour day. And then it was like, I want to say probably mid 12:31 in the morning that I got down to Florida, and I got to the parking lot for the Magic Kingdom. And then we ended up going into the Magic Kingdom and staying the entire rest of the night until 7 a.m., which is when the park closed. I remember distinctly, I mean, being on the TTA and being just, it was like 4 in the morning at that point. And I was just so exhausted. And I was sitting there thinking, what am I doing? Like, this is so dumb. I can just go back to my brother's, which is where I was staying that night. And I was like, I can just go back there and go to bed. But I was like, no. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. We've done this. Like, let's just power through. We've got a couple hours left and we can do this. So I ended up actually managing to do that. And yeah, so I did the 24-hour day. I remember leaving, seeing the clock, on Main Street, say it was after 7 o'clock in the morning. And I went home back to my brother's. And unfortunately, the thing is, I was so keyed up at that point that I still couldn't go to sleep. So yeah, I was up for like another, like, I want to say 2 hours after that, just like kind of just laying there in bed going, oh, I just want to go to sleep. So yeah, I was definitely up for a lot longer than 24 hours at that point. But that honestly has to be the craziest thing I've ever done in my entire life. So it was a fun day. It was a insane day though, because I literally started my day in Atlanta and ended my day in Orlando, and it was definitely 24 hours plus. So.
But see, like Jody's doing, right now as we're speaking this weekend, and like what you did there, this is the stuff that you remember forever. Like,
for sure,
demanding on the body. It's emotional in the moment, but it's one of those things. It's a memory forever. So you absolutely regret it in the moment. You got to push through, and it's hard.
Yes,
and it doesn't always turn out for the best, but it's like, God, I did that. And
I did that
because I never did a 24-hour day. That'd be miserable for me. I know, like me, dude, when I get tired or hungry or hangry, dude, you do not want to be around me. I am meaner than snot. But here's the thing. Like, I remember watching it because that was like prime social media time.
It was, yeah.
It was perfect. Mojo, Mary Jo Collins, back on that day.
Oh, she loved that day, and she wore a different outfit.
Yeah, I was gonna say on the hour she changed shirts every hour and took a new picture. I remember that. I think she wore in like 24. I don't know if she like took a bag or she wore 24 layers or what. But she took
a bag and then yeah.
See, we still both remember. That's what I was gonna say. Like, I mean, that was epic. like every hour for 24 hours. She was in that stinking park wearing a different outfit. It was epic. Because remember, I think one of the days was the leap day. One was like remember the give a day, get a day. I think like that was tied in with that promote. Remember that where you volunteered?
Yeah, that was for volunteering. Yeah.
There's been some good. Anyway, Pam, give us a story because we're just telling stories around the fire here to kick off November. What you got?
I know, lots of stuff. So I remember one of the things, and I remember planning this day. This was really like one of the first times that I decided. We had gone to Disney World for Christmas many times, but typically avoided the Magic Kingdom on Christmas Day. And this was back when the park would routinely, get to capacity and you couldn't go in anymore. But I was like, you know what? We're here. We're going to be here on Christmas Day. I want to be in the park. I want to see the Christmas parade on Main Street on Christmas Day. And so we went in and did it. And we went in the morning, and the parade was going to be sometime that afternoon. And I remember we got our seats just hours and hours and hours in advance. We knew we were going to do it. We brought like a blanket or something to, to sort of sit on. But I was prepared for it to be crazy and for people to be kind of, get a little crabby and whatnot. And I will tell you, it actually ended up being one of the most fun things we ever did. Like, you sort of build a camaraderie with the folks that you're standing there with or sitting there with or whatnot, right? You're like, okay, hold the seat because we're running here or whatever, you do that.
Like one of two ways. Like it's either a competition or a community, right?
Right, exactly. Exactly. So like you go there and like one person runs and gets snacks, and then one person runs and get drinks and whatever. But even though it was definitely crowded, don't get me wrong, but we knew we were going to get to do what we came in to do. Like, I wasn't worried about riding rides or anything else. I wanted to do this. Like, this was the thing I really wanted to do. I wanted to make those memories. I wanted Hannah to have that memory of us being there and doing it and seeing it. And there was really something special about the parade that day. It just, it felt more special. It's a really good memory. And it was really fun. So fun that we ended up doing it then a few times after that, because it was just a cool thing to do. And you're just sort of there, you're in it, you know what you're there to do. And lots of good memories made for sure. When you're sitting there on the curb, you make some good memories.
You do. I mean, when you slow down and just like you have a goal to just take in the environment, to be with the people that you love, and to have, like in the moment, you're in a unique experience. You're on Christmas Day, you're in a 24-hour experience. Kind of my story is kind of like that. I mean, again, that they say ignorance is bliss. And when I look back, we've been doing the show now over 2,500 episodes. This is what I do for a living at this point, is help people plan Disney vacations. But probably my most pure, like, fun I've had at the Magic Kingdom was, it had to have been one of our very first ever times after we drove down. We didn't even have a car that could get us there. We borrowed my in-laws Monte Carlo. I mean, it was like, wasn't even like a Monte Carlo, right? I mean, it's not a big car to take 15 hours, right? I mean, it's like a sports car. It's a coupe. But we put Paige in the back because, it was like had the least amount of miles on it. We at least thought it would get us there and back. So we took that. And I remember, this was back in the Ultimate Park Hopper days. We bought a package I think we stayed at All-Star Sports over Christmas. And we were in the Magic Kingdom having a good time, but this was before they had extra magic hours. Okay, so this is a long time ago. There wasn't even extra magic hours, but you had this thing you could buy at the Magic Kingdom if you were in the park that day. It was called, what was that thing called?
E-ticket nights.
E-ticket night. E-ride nights.
E-ride nights. That's what it was. Yes, that's what it was. Yes.
I want to say it was like $9 a person or something.
They were so stinky.
Like $7 or $9 a person. You went to City Hall and you would buy a wristband. Like, you had to be in the park that day, but they only sold a certain amount of these. And I don't even know how I found out about it, because I was walking around having a good time that day. But somebody was like, dude, tonight they have e-ride nights. You can buy this wristband for like $7 or $9, and you can stay for 3 hours after the park closes. And there's like 12 rides only like 12 rides that'll be open. But there's only be a few people left in the park, and you can ride them all you want. I'm like, sign me up, man. Because I think the park, remember back then, the parks would be open like regular hours till
They
like
would.
11,
Yep.
10,
Mhm.
11 o'clock.
And then they had the A-Ride night after that.
3
Yes.
more hours after that. I was like, and man, back then I was just a teacher. The only thing I had in the summer was time. I didn't have money, but I had time. So I'm like, Pam, I'm like, dude, $27, let's go. So she's like, okay. I mean, Paige was like 7. I mean, we'd had her out in this park. I mean, back then I didn't know about taking midday breaks or anything. I was stupid. So I mean, we had her probably there since like 9 in the morning. Oh, we're like, we're gonna just keep it, it's like, what's like Clark Griswold. I've been on the Clark Griswold thing lately, but like, you're gonna have to wipe the smile off my face or whatever, because we're going, man. I'm like, we're getting this. I just remember like we went on all those big rides. I mean, but we had the craziest time. Like this might have been, I don't know, it might not even been Christmas. This could have been in the middle of summer. I don't know, but I just
I think
remember
it was middle of the summer.
I think it was
Usually,
in the
yeah.
summer. It probably wasn't Christmas. It was probably a summer trip. But all I remember is they slapped that bracelet on. I was like, dude, I just stole that thing for $9 because we went on Big Mountain, and then we went on Big Thunder, then we went on Splash, and then we went over to Pirates, and we went on Jungle Cruise. I mean, like, shoot, the only things that were open were the stuff we loved. If we didn't care, like we were going to waste our time on like Winnie the Pooh or whatever at that point. No. Splash Mountain or like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, that was like that was so far in the future. That was a hole in the ground at that point. We were just having it. I mean, it was like we were robbing the place. Because we've talked about this, right? It's for a Disney fan, you get this high, like that time between the fireworks and the park closing when you try to squeeze out as many attractions as possible and you're just running around the park like a chicken with your head cut off. Well, that was us, but for like 3 hours, just like, because you would get on Space Mountain and you would get off, you just run right around it. I mean, it's like a mile run though, when you think about it, and get back and go through the Star Tunnel and get back on. And okay, we're going to do whatever, Big Thunder, and go to Haunted Mansion. But I just remember it was so late at night, but like we got her one of those sugar pixie sticks and just like let her have at it, just pure sugar. I mean, it was like 3 feet long. We didn't care. She was like 7 years old. It was the middle of the night, but terrible parenting. I mean, Dr. Phil would have shut us down, or whoever, any parenting expert. It didn't matter. We were having so much fun in the moment that it was just a memory that we made that was just remarkable. I mean, every family should have that terrible decision but awesome night that we had probably back in, I don't know, 2001, 2000. I don't know what it was. But this leads me to kind of like a broader conversation with you two. We're talking about like the 24-hour day and, e-ticket nights and things like that, the give a day, even that promotion, the give a day, get a day kind of promotion. These things are all kind of in the past. What's to keep Disney? And I know it's crowds and, it's a different economic time, but 24-hour days, could we ever see anything like this again? Because I mean, we made these awesome seminal moments in our backgrounds, that we have these stories. Like, what's going to be the story for a family that goes to the parks in 2024, 10 years from now? Like, what's the story they're going to tell? Somebody that's new to all this. Like, what do we see?
Gosh.
I think it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the same things that we do. It's going to be like a memory, like something that is so out of character, something that they wouldn't typically do at home, something that, whatever. And I think the Disney really sort of lends itself to that in so many different ways. I think when we all look back on things, it's not things that happen to us all the time. Like we splurged and got the concierge, or we splurged and stayed at the suite, or we splurged and did that. Like, it's going to be all those things. Like someone will in the next couple of years do the premium lightning lane, and they'll come back and they'll be on the podcast and they'll be like, guess what? My family decided to do that. We were all in and we had the best day. Like we went and did all these things. We went and whatever. It's almost sort of like the cake bake shop effect, in that we were all sort of like, oh my gosh, $26 cake. And then you see people walking out, it was like, $26 piece of cake? It's pretty good. So, I mean, it's like that kind of thing, right? It's like things that you don't normally do in your regular life that become a possibility, that become something that you're going to, be
Yeah.
like, okay, we're doing this. Like, we're just going to throw our cares to the wind and we're going to hone in and do this because we wouldn't typically do this at home. So,
absolutely. Yeah. Like, I mean, just this past Halloween, Brian and I, it's been a while since we've been to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, so we decided to go. And yes, it's, definitely gone up in price since we first started going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. But, we just went into it with the same, like, okay, we're going to go, we're going to have a good time, we're going to have fun with it. We're just, we're going to just have a blast. And that was kind of how, we didn't really go into it with too much of a plan because, I mean, we've been to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party a number of times. So we had a general plan of the fact, okay, we definitely want to see the fireworks. We definitely want to see the parade, but we didn't have to do everything. We just kind of took it as we went. And one of the most fun things that we did, which we were not planning, I mean, we were planning on doing, but not maybe to this extent, was the fact that we went trick-or-treating. And when I say we went trick-or-treating, I mean, we went hard trick-or-treating. Like, that was not the plan, to go hard trick-or-treating, because you're like, okay, yeah, ha, ha, ha. You go trick-or-treating, you get, some M&Ms and, some Twix and stuff like that and blah, blah, blah. No. We had so much fun just going trick-or-treating, having a good time, being kids. And yeah, I mean, of course we went trick-or-treating with Lucy and that's fun too. And we did that at home, obviously, this week, but it was something different because it was just the two of us at that, because we left Lucy with grandma and grandpa. And, it was the two of us getting to be kids together again, in a way that we hadn't been able to do in a while. So like, that was just, it's taking a moment that, and tweaking it a little bit just so it'll be extra special, extra fun in the moment. You just make that decision in the moment of, hey, let's do this. And it ends up being some of the best memories that I have with Brian and Lucy and trips and that we've taken are the impromptu things that we've done. You can plan things on a Disney trip, which I know is obviously the point. You want to make sure that you have, things planned so that the trip, goes well. But it's those things that are so just happen that I think those are the things that you remember the most. And I think that those are the things that stick with you. Kind of like I said, the thing I remember the most out of that 24-hour day is being on the TTA and being just exhausted about, just going on the TTA and going, oh my goodness, what am I doing? But it was fun in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, I wasn't expecting that, but it was, all of that is just what makes a Disney trip fun is what you're not expecting. And I think that that's the magic of Disney, to be perfectly honest, is what you're not expecting.
Yeah. And it's the overall feel. It's like you remember that you were there for that point in time and you had that experience in a Disney theme park. So you have that memory forever. And here's kind of what I'm hoping for, because again, that's a unique experience, and Rob on YouTube, he's like, well, 24 hours, actually 3 separately ticketed events. And I mean, I worry that that's how Disney's seeing things from a financial standpoint at this point. But here's kind of what I'm seeing, right? And you mentioned Epic Universe opening in 2025 here at the top of the show. And competition is always good, right? And
Absolutely.
Competition is a great thing. And as a Disney fan, like I'll be honest, like I'm not into Epic Universe personally because it doesn't have any of the IP that I could care about at all. Like that's not my jam at all. I'm not into the monsters. I'm not into the Minions or any of that stuff, or Nintendo. That's not my jam at all. So it's not going to draw me in personally. The hotels, maybe. I like Universal over there has great hotels. The hotels are awesome, but the theme park stuff's not my jam, but it's totally fine. I'm excited that it's coming online because when you have competition, Disney's going to have to step up to the plate, because if people start going over to Universal, it's going to make Disney entice those people to come back. And so I think Disney, and of course, COVID has caused a lot of changes in how things have been offered, but they've been playing it a little safe in my view since. And I would like them to go back to offering things occasionally like the 24-hour day, because it was crazy. That was a crazy, insane promotion. But I like my very corporate, you got to be very corporate because Disney's a gigantic conglomerate. but I like them every once in a while to step outside the box and
Take a
say
chance.
do something dumb like a 24-hour day and let people see a sunrise in the Magic Kingdom. And it's going to be all over social media. You know, it's okay to do that one day out of the 365, you know, and to have some fun. Pam, I know that like it's kind of a balancing thing, right? I know that there's so many things that I don't see because I'm not really a business person, but I think with the opportunity that Epic Universe is going to be super exciting for a huge audience, that Disney is going to have to, they're going to have to up their game as well. And Universal's obviously upping their game. When you have competition in any kind of an environment, any kind of an arena, I think the consumer wins. And I'm hoping that we'll see some creative advertising, we'll see some creative promotions, and we'll see the product just kind of, rising tide rises all ships kind of situation.
For sure. We're always the big winners in this. I mean, if you are a theme park fan, we are the big winners because while they offer similar products, there's definitely things that each has that the other one doesn't. And I think that that's always going to be something, that entices you to sort of experience that. I think we'll see, I think Disney's really protective of their brand and trying to make sure that everything that it does sort of fits with their brand and all of that. So I think there are definitely opportunities in there. I think they have been doing some different things. I think it's not necessarily what the diehard Disney fan may want, but I think that there have been some things that show they're taking a little bit of a chance, or they're sticking their toes in the water with this, or doing something with that. I think that what will be interesting is when they have extra ships, like Disney is going to basically triple their fleet.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like with the Disney Adventure, like that shocks me that they did that. Like that ship is so outside of the rest of the fleet. Like that is an example of them thinking outside the box and buying a ship that was almost done, and then how that was so different than the rest. Like that is shocking that they would have done that.
It is, and everything I see about that ship, I'm just like, wow, like look at all the things they've done that are so different and creative, because they had to be different and creative because the ship was already pretty much done. So they had to think of new ways to create that Disney experience that we know and love, but create new things that, we maybe wouldn't expect because it's not the traditional Disney ship. And personally, I wish that I could get on that event, the adventure. Like that's like a dream at this point that I would absolutely love to make a reality. I don't know how, but like that ship looks so cool. And it's all because they took a chance and bought a ship that wasn't there, that was already almost done. And then they had to make it their own. And I love that they were able to be creative in a different way than what is normal. And I would like to see that moving forward with, I'm assuming goodness knows that this, the Destiny and will not be the last ship. Obviously they've already announced that the Destiny is not going to be the last ship. There's 4 more ships coming, right? So like my hope is that they go back to the drawing board and maybe take some of the things that they're doing from the adventure and go, hey, maybe we can incorporate this into this new set of 4 ships, So like, I would like to see something like that. Like really innovate that way. So, but the adventure is just amazing. Everything I see about that ship, it's just my jaw is on the floor. So
yeah, it is that fine line of like Disney's based on imagination, the overall company, right? It's about, if you get back to the heart of the company, the genesis is imagination, creativity, wowing people with dreams and bringing the fantasy to life, right? That's kind of it. But, it exists in the real world too, it's concrete world, so it is really tough, right? And I think, I'm one of those people that's a dreamer, and I more than a business person, so I don't understand it all the time. Pam, you kind of live in kind of both worlds, so that's why I always kind of defer to you in this thing.
It's interesting. I think it's always interesting. I think as fans, though, we have to be open to the fact that if something's going to be different, what that means is it's going to change, and it's not going to be the same thing. And that's not something that always Disney fans are the most accepting or even welcoming about. I mean, they just really aren't. And I think that's something to think about too, as Disney moves forward. Like, it's okay to fail, to put something out there and fail. But do you remember how when Star Cruiser, when they announced that Star Cruiser was closing, like there was some brutal commentary there from
Definitely
people, and even from when it first opened, before it even did fail, just that whole thing. So I think that Disney really feels, as a company, and it shows this, they feel like when something like that happens, I don't think they walk away from that and we're like, it's a fail. I think they walk away from that and they're like, okay, here's what we learned from this. And they are still a company that really does learn from things. I mean, they're constantly surveying, they're constantly getting people's feedback. They're trying to see if their temperature gauge is where people are wanting to go. So, I think it's okay if not everything is for everyone, or not everything is something that everyone wants. It's doing those things that sort of opens the door to other possibilities that we may not have even gotten if this hadn't happened first. And I think that's something that's really important to remember. As fans, we've got to welcome that and say, you know what? I didn't love this. Here are some things I loved about it, and here are some things I didn't. So,
and I think that's very true. And I think that I think as fans, and I'm saying this really just from the fan standpoint, not necessarily from looking at it from the business standpoint, because I definitely see it from the business standpoint of why maybe some things are chosen versus others. I think from fans, what we would like to see overall, though, is a mixture of the two, maybe a little bit better. So, you can have the ultra, ritzy kind of experience, but I think that a lot of the issues that have been brought up lately, especially, are the fact that, well, what about the maybe more regular guest, the one who maybe isn't going to get something like a premier lightning lane, something like that, so like I feel like there needs to be a better, as far as Disney promoting things better, a better mixing of the two, and I think that if that happened a little bit better, I think that the issues that we're seeing in the Disney community of such a divide maybe wouldn't be so divided. But then again, I feel like that's, a whole different conversation for a whole other day. But, I, as a fan personally, I would like to see them mix things a little bit better. I hope I'm making sense. Maybe I'm not, but I know what I mean in my head, which doesn't necessarily help. But
like what Pam's saying, and we got to wrap because we're kind of at the end of the show. But like what there's a diversity in the portfolio of what Walt Disney World offers.
Right.
You got your Pop Centuries, you got your Grand Floridians, you got your yacht clubs, you got your all-star music and your sports, right? So
yes,
there's something there for everybody. You can go into the parks, with just a Magic Your Way ticket, and you can really have a good time. You're going to wait longer in lines, or you can buy your way out of some of those lines with some, experiences. But I mean, I can do that at the Cardinals game. I can do that at Mizzou. I can buy my way to high five the players out of the tunnel, as they come out on Saturdays. I don't do that, but I could also sit on the grass. I've, over the years, paid a little bit extra, saved a little bit more money. I now sit on a bleacher, which is a treat now, compared to for 15 years, I sat my butt on the grass, and I can't do that anymore. I'm too old. Like, it was a slanty hill and I slid. I mean, my wife and I did that for 15 years. Now we have a cold steel bleacher, but that's a splurge, like it's not fancy. We have to rent a chair back to for our backs for $5 a game, but it is what it is. Like, that's why we, have upgraded our experience at the football games. That's just how life is. It's all about what is important to you. And there's I don't sit in a luxury box at Mizzou, and, I go into the theme parks down there I don't get lightning lanes, I don't, but I enjoy the atmosphere. I enjoy the heck out of the atmosphere, but I also enjoy the heck out of Space Mountain. I'll wait in line for that, and I just choose to rope drop it. You know, I don't wait in a super long line. I get there super early. You know, like I know the strategies to not wait in line. And if there's a long line, I know that I can get on the TTA and enjoy the heck out of that ride. You know, and go on Astro Orbiters. I like that. Like, you know, there's ways to have an outstanding time at the Magic Kingdom and not have to be, you know, Daddy Warbucks at the same time. You know, so I get in, like with the cruise ships. I love that they're diversifying those. Like in you know, I've heard people say, you know, oh my gosh, the top of the Adventure looks like a theme park. And it does look different than, say, the Disney Magic and the Disney Wonder from back in the late 90s.
I love it.
That, though, because like not every cruise ship should be for every single person. With diversity in the fleet, that's awesome, because you're going to go to different places. You're going to get to have different experiences on different ships, have different kinds of restaurants, different kinds of shows, different kinds of staterooms. Diversity, and you know, just diversity in life is great, but diversity with the portfolio that Disney Cruise Line can offer, Disney Walt Disney World, Disneyland, what it means is you can have so many different experiences, but go back to the same, you know, cruise line, go back to World, go back to Land, have many opportunities to go to those same places, but have different trips every single time. I think that's what kind of
and the majority of the announcements at D23 were all about attractions that were going into the parks that everyone gets to experience with their ticket regular that they have with the regular ticket. I mean, I think that was something that was really impressive about a lot of the announcements that came back, that these are things that are going to be in the parks. These are ways that they're taking the experience and making it new. And that's a really, really cool thing. I mean, we're going to see some cool things. And yes, Disney is going to have 13 ships by the time 2031 rolls around. So crazy. That is huge. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be huge, and we're going to see some different things. So
gone are the days where I could just, with the 4 ships, knew where they all were when I was booking.
That's right.
So easy.
I know.
Yes. Wait, what? I'm like, God, I have no idea where the Fantasy is anymore. Like, the Fantasy's doing a 4-nighter to the Bahamas. What?
Right.
Fantasy? No way. And I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yep. There's no way I'm going to get on every ship now. It's just not going to happen. I'd love to, but it's not going to happen.
You know I am, because I love those ships. Those ships are my babies. Anyway, we got to get out of here, because it's November, and it's time to go, because it's the weekend, and I got to get out to Mizzou for the cheerleading championships. HOWELL, row the boat. All right, we're going to have a great weekend. Hope you will as well. Don't forget, our show is always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you get out to sea with the Disney Cruise Line, out to Disneyland, where it all started. Walt walked those that Main Street USA out there. It's pretty awesome. And you got to just wipe that, as they say in Field of Dreams, you can wipe that nostalgia away from your face with your hand. It's so awesome. In Walt Disney World, it is so cool down there. 4 parks, water park. I mean, Disney Springs, Splitsville, nachos, pizza, and bowling. What else do you need? It's the American dream. We'll help you get to your favorite places. No cost to you. First class concierge level service each and every time. Check out all the details this weekend over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys are our all-stars. You make this possible. Can't thank you enough for that. And you can support us just $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. Coming over this past week, we talked about all the scary places I hated being alone. Like my grandma's house when I was a little kid. There was these 2 horses that were over the fireplace. Scared me to death. I hated it. With the tick-tock clock. Tick, tick, tick. Oh, man. Great story. And Chick-fil-A, when I worked at the mall, and we were the last ones in the mall. Being in a shopping mall at night when it's dark and you're the last ones. Oh, Jamestown Mall, Rikki. Oh, dude. Mm-hmm. Scared in the tunnels. Oh my God, dude. Malls have tunnels, man. It is scary. I told all the stories. Coming over to patreon.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. Give us a follow on social media. I'm at BeOurGuestMike. Ricky's at Ricky Nibs. Pam's at TMFLT Pam. Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. And come over to the Clubhouse, BeOurGuestPodcast.com/Clubhouse. All the listeners hang out there. It is cool. We talk Uncrustables. We talk sports. We talk Disney. We talk life. We have a good time. Free, no nonsense all the time. And of course, Sunday night, we'll have the call-in show. It's you, me, and Scotty G, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Pick your place. We'll be taking your calls. So we'll be there. I hope you will be too. All right. So until we get back together again on Monday, you guys have a great weekend. So for Rikki and Pam, I'm Mike saying stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Boom.
Yay.
Yay. Awesome.
So everybody got home okay and everything's good?
As far as I know, they're all downstairs yelling.
It's like a typical night at the Roman house, except it's
Yeah.
upstairs and not downstairs.
I don't know what's going on down there. I'm guessing she feels better after me giving her Tylenol when I got home, because I definitely hear an excited baby now.
It's miracles. Yeah, seriously.
Tylenol
Right?
is definitely miracles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wish I would have known that I needed to give her that this morning when I took her to school.
Yeah, that's what my kids' parents always did when I was a teacher. They give them like Tylenol like a half hour before school, and boom, send them to school, and they didn't have a fever anymore.
Yep. I mean, that's not what I was going to plan on doing at all. Nope. Yeah, totally what I was going to do.
Oldest trick in the book. Oldest trick in the book.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But I didn't know. Brian's the one who got her ready for school this morning, so I didn't know to tell him
Good try.
to, give her the Tylenol. My bad.
Slip a little Tylenol. All right, I'll see you guys. Have a good week. So
All right,
are we all here next week or no?
I am not entirely sure, so I'll have to let you know.
You're
It'll depend. It's
And
month
you're
end,
good, though?
so.
I am. Yep.
All right, I will see you. Happy Halloween. You
All right, happy Halloween,
Happy
everybody.
Halloween.
Bye.
Bye.